Hey everybody, I got some ideas about how the left can help to pull people in and create a stronger left-wing movement. But first off, I want to just start with the assumptions that I'm basing all of my ideas off of. So number one, mass movements require many people. In order to get political and economic power that the left wants, we need to build our movements and win people over who might join right-wing groups. Being repulsed by other working class people and writing them off as deplorables will only lead to our own Trump, as they seek community in right-wing groups. Number two, people are good. When equipped with accurate information and when treated respectfully, most people will usually support ideas and policies that are pro-social and fair. Three, we have the same basic needs. Every human being shares a common set of basic needs: shelter, food, clean water, time with family and friends, access to nature, ability to express, create, and build, healthcare, education, a need for stimulating and fulfilling occupation. We are all mammals, called Homo sapiens, that have evolved as a social species. Antisocial behavior is taught and can be corrected. Misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, racism, xenophobia, and other forms of antisocial ideologies are taught and are not innate. A human being cannot be a racist, but they can have racist ideas. Some humans have way more racist ideas than others. But we all, at some point or another, have a racist idea here or there. We need to vehemently attack antisocial ideologies while working hard to bring people into the movement. Calling someone a misogynist, a racist, or a homophobe is not an effective way to change their mind. It makes them feel attacked, and they'll be more likely to affiliate with supremacist groups. This is not a good movement building strategy. However, it is our duty to bring attention to hateful language and behavior when we see it, but to try to do it in a way that provides room for the offender to correct their actions in the future and without assigning irredeemable blame. Shaming doesn't work, aside from making us feel self-righteous. Antisocial behavior is cultivated by powerful people. Recognize that people with power have always tried to use language to divide working people. Anti-Black racism is a social construct which was created to justify the horrific treatment of slaves. Anti-Indigenous racism was created to justify settler colonial expansion. Misogynistic language is used by those benefiting most from our capitalist patriarchy to subjugate women, and is used by some men in all classes to exert power over women. Anti-immigrant xenophobia is cultivated by the powerful to turn poor workers against newcomers. Instead of building worker solidarity with them, we need to compassionately correct harmful behaviors and language, and to viciously identify and attack the powerful sources of these hateful ideologies. Think tanks, media outlets, politicians, etc. People are intelligent. Many working people have vast knowledge on a wide range of things that may not be exactly what you're knowledgeable about. Always assume people are smart. This will come across as being respectful. Okay, how to win people over to the left. Communication. Use accessible language and terms and context that would be familiar to them. Jargon alienates. Recognize that words like capitalism, socialism, imperialism, colonialism, discrimination, feminism are highly loaded in the types of media that these people are exposed to. Language should invite people in and not make them feel stupid. We don't want them to feel attacked or criticized if you're hoping to win them over. You can use terms like bullying instead of oppression, cruelty instead of exploitation, relatable terms. No one will defend bullying or cruelty. If the other person uses slightly wrong language that you disagree with, try not to immediately correct or scold them. The goal is to keep the person feeling non-attacked. Recall that we pass through various stages as we learn. I'm sure that each one of you can recall a time in the past when you had beliefs and you said things today that you might regret. By showing them you recognize their humanity, they're more likely to recognize the humanity of the marginalized groups. Understand where and how they get their information. Avoid being judgmental. Ask them what their concerns are. Start from where they're at. Once you know what is important to them and not you, you can start to come up with parallels. Maybe you care about ending brutal policing tactics in the inner city, and they care about the monopolization of giant agribusiness and how that hurts small farmers. You could draw connections about the big money behind agribusiness and the big money behind profiteering of inner city poverty and criminalization of racialized people. Movement building requires people with different priorities to better understand common goals. It's not always easy, but it's crucial. Try to focus on specific enemies. Use specific names and not nebulous terms like elite capitalist class. That's too broad and unspecific. The goal is to get people to build class consciousness. To become aware of their latent power, you need to shift the enemy from being the annoying, arrogant left or immigrants to the rapacious, parasitic rich. It's not that hard to do. To show that you're making good faith points, talk about some of your own critiques of your own left politicians. Show the other person that you are not simply partisan, but that you see errors or excess in your own side. It's like self-strawmanning. For example, some hardcore socialists think that all private property should be eliminated. Well, not me. I think that we should just put an end to obscene hoarding of the billionaires and millionaires making money off our backs. They should pay at least the same taxes as you or me pay. Reframe right and left into us versus the money hoarders. Working is virtuous. Hoarding is greedy and bad. Speak about we, not you should care about this. Say we should all be caring about this. You can also call out the extreme right, like saying some people who vote for the same political party as you believe that we should not allow newcomers into this country. But I disagree with them because I believe in freedom and opportunity. So you're not disagreeing with the person in front of you and making them feel defensive, but you've made a distinction, but you're also getting your point across. Also, just be funny. Once you know what the person sees as the problem, ask them how they would fix that problem. How would they organize their friends and families? Solutions come from within the people that are experiencing the problem. Turn the question around on them. Then you can ask, okay, so imagine you were living in poverty and constantly in fear of police. And imagine for generations your community has feared police. Wouldn't you protest BLM? Flatter people. Think about what you respect about their role in society. Do they produce food? Do they build infrastructure? Could you find something positive about literally any job? Building oil pipelines? That's a tricky one. But you could say, hey, we're still all driving cars, so we need the oil, but we could use your skill in a more green economy, etc. Be genuine. Don't be fake. Try to put yourself in their shoes. Everyone likes to hear that what they do, no matter how mundane, is important to the wider society. And then bring it back to, it's shitty that these money hoarders take so much of our money that you create instead of going back into the great things in your community. Appeal to their imagination. If your region had more tax revenue, what kind of stuff would you want? Ask them what they think Canadian values are. Show them that they're good Canadians and that the money hoarders are not. Don't waste time trying to debunk QAnon and conspiracy theories. Just invite them to explore independent media made by working people like them and not funded by the money hoarders. Don't try to convince them of everything you believe. Aim for some small shift in thinking. Try to plant idea seeds. Those are just some of the ideas I had. Please leave your comments and thoughts below. I think together we can build a stronger movement for the people of this country. All right? Peace and love.